have struggled, and you know, you're not even sure if you're ready. I see some people were saying in the chat, I'm getting ready. And it's not about getting ready, it's about being ready. And so, you know, I thank God for what he has done this evening. So this is the second part of our kingdom study. This is how we do it. If you're new, this is how we do it. First Lady takes the first half and she shares what God, she's a prophetess in the house, and she shares what God says to her, and then I come on. This second half is more interactive. You can stop me, you can ask questions, you can make comments. Feel free to do that. I want to say, I think I was looking through the chat, and I think, let me see if I could change my screen quickly. And I believe an old friend of mine is with us tonight. I see Joshua skipped his name because he probably didn't know that was a name. But if it is who I think it is, I want to say welcome to my friend Beans. If you are here tonight, God bless you. Thank you. Beans and I were members of the same group, Caribbean Witness, many years ago when I used to go about singing throughout Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean and other places. He was the drummer in the group, and I haven't seen him for many years. We connected today, and I am seeing something that says Beans in group. So I'm hoping that it is him. But Beans, if it's you, we welcome you to our kingdom study for this evening, and trust that you know you'll come again. But let's get into it quickly. We have been looking for a while now at the topic, this thing called love. This thing called love, because a lot of us don't understand it. We use the word frivolously, in my opinion, and we've been looking for a long time at what love really is. And 1 Corinthians chapter 13 describes love, because we say love is what love does, and the characteristics of love is what tells us that, you know, what love is. And we have reached the verse that says, love is not easily provoked. We looked at that last night. Love is not easily provoked. And it means that you don't get angry easy. There are a lot of people, they're very thin-skinned. They're easy to get angry. All right. And we were looking, the last thing we were looking at last evening is how do we deal with anger? And we were looking at some things that the experts say that you do when you're dealing with anger, like know your triggers, think before you sleep, count to 10. Well, some people say 10 is not enough. 10, some people need 100. Another one, they say breathe slowly. I don't know when you're really angry, you know, you're wrathful, you're furious. If you can breathe slowly, but they say do that. Another thing, as we continue to look at it, they say take a time out, walk away. Take a time out or walk away when you're angry. How many of us can really do that? How many of us can walk away? Somebody get you real big. They do something, as we say in Trinidad, stupid or dotish. They embarrass you. They did something, you tell them not to do it, and they still went ahead and did it. How many of us are able to walk away? I mean, just take a time out, because you know what you're going to do. And I know what some of you were saying last night. You know that if you say something, you will say the wrong thing. So some of you said you would stay quiet. I remember that. Elder Sherry was one who said that. Walk away. When you are angry, walk away. How many of us are really able to walk away? How many of us walk away? Is there anybody who, when you get angry, walk away? Talk to me. Is there anybody who, when you get angry, you are able to walk away from the situation, walk away from the environment, walk away? How many of us are able to do that? That's one or two people. Just tell me. Are you able to walk away?
Dr. Richards, I want to say, I just want to take the time to answer that question. And I think that it depends on the level of can I say the level of anger, Doc? Is it okay to say that?
Yes, yeah,
I
yeah.
think it depends to me the level of anger, which is kind of, some that for me, if I reach as well, I think it goes 100 to 0. That's the time, Dr. Richards. I think I'll be extremely. I just like something just locks my mouth, and then I would just like clench my teeth, and that's it. I just
Mhm.
stop, you know. So if I'm in an in-between level, I think if I'm in an in-between level, I may not be able to walk away. If it's on a 50, I think I may still want to, that's my that's how I see it. We have some comments in the chat. One person says, yes, I do. So that person knows how to walk away. Another comment, I walk away. It helps me to calm down. Another says, I can, but it's challenging at times. And another, I can walk away. Someone else said, swallow a mouthfuls of water. Um, and yes, someone says, yes, Dr. Richards, yes,
Mhm.
I do.
Right. And it's important to be able to take yourself out of that environment, that thing that trip you of that person. You see, as long as they're in front of you, it keeps that the memory of whatever they did. If we are able to walk away, if we are able to find a quiet place or a space, if we are able to do that. But you see, a lot of us, we don't want to walk away because we feel that's a sign of weakness. We feel that is letting the person off the hook. That is telling the person it's okay for you to do that. But you need to get out of that environment. And so I agree with the experts when they say walk away. Take a time off. Don't respond when you're in that zone. Remember, I think sometime before we said, like in the workplace, if you have to send an email, don't ever send an email when you're vexed because you might say something. You see, from the time you hit send, you can't unsend it. You can't bring it back. And sometimes when you're angry, you say something that when you look at it after you read it, you say, I said that, boy. I did that. So you got to be careful. So if you're able to take yourself out of that environment, it's important. And one of the things I tell couples when I'm counseling them, you have to establish rules of engagement. What do I mean by that? Well, one of the rules is what happens when we fall out? What do we do when we are angry? You establish, the do's and don'ts. You don't, for example, let me give you, and I think I said that here before, you keep the animals out of it. You remember I told you that? When you are angry, you keep the animals out. What do I mean that? Well, the bitches and the asses and the dirty dog and the rotten dirty snake and the dog and you don't say these things. You keep the animals away from your whatever it is you're angry about or whoever it is. You don't call them names because sometimes when you reflect and say, "Oh God, I say that." There's a person you love and you say that. So if you're able to take a time out, if you're able to say, listen, this thing is getting too heated, I'm getting angry, I need to take a walk. I need to go somewhere else. I need to get out of this environment. It's good that you're able to do that because anger, if you don't diffuse it, if you don't throw water on that fire, it could get into a blaze that would burn everything down. The experts also says exercise. Do you agree that exercise can help? Talk to me. They said to exercise. Is that really
Dr.
possible? Yeah.
Dr. Richards, yeah. So Joshua, hand is up. And
Mhm.
before Joshua speaks, Dr. Richards, for me, I could identify because that same example that you use concerning emails, that can get you into problems. So I've really learned, and it's a good habit that when you're working and someone says something to trip you, that will trip you over, is to just spend that email. And most of the times when you go back, you realize sometimes it wasn't even worth it to respond. And that whole paragraph just comes down to a few words in itself. And I start doing it even with text, Dr. Richards, with text messages as well. At WhatsApp, if I feel like, someone, I would just start pending it and then I would stop myself and breathe, because it's part of the flesh, I guess, and it can have us in this kind of position where we live with regrets, especially as saints of God. You know, we have to be able to control that flesh. Joshua Richards.
Yes, Dr.
What?
Richard. I think that exercise maybe can help if you're in a situation where you can do it, I guess, because exercise is a way to let out your anger in a productive way, right? So if you get angry with somebody, I could see you could go on and start punching a bag or something and let it out with the exercise. But I think it will only work if you're in a position to do that. Because if you're, let's say you're in the office and somebody trips you, then you won't really get an opportunity to do that, I guess. But if you're at home and you're arguing with a sibling or your spouse or something and you get angry, then I guess you could walk away and go and do some exercise, go and take a run, go and do some jumping jacks, some push-ups or something, and let out the anger. But in my opinion, it would only work if you're in a position to do so.
Yeah. They also said to listen to music is another way to diffuse your anger. Listening to music. What do you think of that? I know there are a lot of people who do that because music calms you. It brings you down. It brings you back down to earth. So you put
Joshua
on your
Richards again.
headphones.
Dr. Richards.
Mm-hmm. Go
Dr.
ahead.
Richards, I 100% agree. I love to do that. Like when I get angry, I have some songs on my phone that are very calming. So if I could go and like if I get angry, I could just listen to music and I'll be floating because that's what helps me. Like music is a great, like a very, very good output for my anger. So listening to music, I agree that could help you. It just depends on the kind of music as well. So you can't really, if you're mad, you
some
can't really
music.
go and listen to some kind of big like rapping violence kind of music.
Well, that's the thing, because there's some music that would escalate your anger.
Yeah,
There's
because
some music will get you more worked up. So you gotta be
like
careful with the type of music you're listening
yeah,
to.
yeah, like music talking about violence and guns and rapping music. That would
But
just
now you want to kill that
just
person.
it would get it worse. It would make you more angry. So
Right.
so I have music that is very calming. I don't listen to music about violence, especially when I'm mad, because that would escalate it. But if you have calming music, then I 100% agree that could help you.
Dr. Richards, we have a few comments in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few comments in the chat. One person says that yes, it helps. Someone else said that works for worship song. That works for worship songs. It helps me a lot. And then this one have me chuckling a bit. Another comment, Dr. Richards, I clean the bathroom when I'm angry. The tiles get the best scrub.
If that is so,
and
listen,
Dr.
but
Richards,
wait.
she's
If that
right,
is so, and I am your husband, and I want the bathroom cleaned, you know what I go do? You know what I'm gonna do? Make sure we're fighting if I want you to clean the bathroom. But I mean, if it works for you, fine.
Yeah, Doctor. But she's not the first person that I've heard say that. I know someone very personal and close to me. Whenever she gets angry, she starts cleaning, because she would call me. She said, I'm cleaning, and I'm cleaning because I'm mad, right? So she goes into cleaning mode when she's angry. So I guess I could understand. I guess it's a thing for some people. I just want to be left alone,
Okay. Okay, so let's move on quickly. So they also say to watch or listen to humor. So you go and watch a comedy, a movie, sitcom, something. Put on the TV and watch something that will make you laugh. Humor is something that diffuses anger. So they say. They also say to do something creative. So like, for example, for me, a long time ago, when I used to have a guitar and I want to calm myself, I would go and sit down and just play my guitar, and that would calm me. All right. But here's one, this final one that I want to, no, there are two things. One, ladies, how you feel about it? They say go shopping. Go shopping. They said that diffuses anger. Ladies, what do you think of that? Go shopping. Talk to me.
I wish somebody, Elder Sherry hand is up. I wish somebody would I wish that opportunity will come my way, because definitely, Dr. Richard, I think I will do that. If I get angry and you can, send me shopping, yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that. Elder Sherry.
Elder Sherry,
Yes,
can
try it
they
now,
unmute?
Elder Sherry. Yes, Elder Sherry, try it now.
Okay, so I was just laughing at Pastor Nicole say if they send her shopping, but I am a person, when I get angry, I better not have money, because that was one of the things that would calm me. So I would say, if I happen to have your bank card and you get me angry, we may have a further argument thereafter.
I can see that happening. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, as you say, if it is that you have the bank card, because Pastor Nicole talking about sending you shopping. We're not talking about sending anybody shopping. You saying that if you're angry, you go shopping with your money. Right? You're not taking my money to go. But so the experts say, the experts
We
on
have a few
anger, that is.
comments. Dr. Richard, we have a few comments in the chat. And let me say a special good night to Elder Gail. She's on, Dr. Richards. She's on with us
Oh,
tonight.
welcome back.
Yeah, it's
Welcome,
nice to
Elder
have
Gail.
her. Yes, so Dr. Richards, we have some comments in the chat. I think this is I'm so excited with this. So here's one of the comments. Right. So someone says, if it's your money, yes. With no money, shopping. This person said they'll get angry, they'll go shopping, but with no money.
Window
Next
shopping.
comment.
Okay.
Yes. Next comment. What do you do when you are in the car? In the car, and an argument starts, pushing all the wrong buttons. You get angry and know where to go until you reach your destination, which is for a while. This happened to me, and I reached in the wrong way and got out the car and walked home. Sigh. Yeah.
Wow.
Then we have another comment. Someone is saying to that person who cleans when she gets angry, another family member is saying, you can come home by me when you're angry. Look, you getting work.
Getting
Of course,
help,
you have to
yeah.
pay for that. Of course, they have to pay for that. All she has to do, well, okay, I'm angry, and we just call up on service, but she has to be paid. Another comment, Dr. Richards, is I did that a few times. So I'm thinking that this person is talking about spending of shopping while angry. Another comment says, hoping it's the husband money I will be spending, not my money. And then retail therapy is always good. Another, that's true, but it will cost you a lot because it depends on how angry you are. Another comment, your money is our money though, LOL. And another comment, the Bible says, be angry and sin not, which means don't let the enemy take over your mind. Cool, calm, I think, and collective is something every child of God should practice. Finding ways to calm emotions is a blessing for yourself.
Now, as I told you just now, couples should have rules of engagement. And one of the rules that you put in place, what happens if we're in a car, we're going somewhere, we get angry, what do we do? It's important to talk about that before. Put things in place before. This is what we are not going to do. I'm not going to start and open the door and jump out the car. I'm not going to pull the steering. We're not going to do that. These things are important. They might seem frivolous, but these things are important to discuss. And so I call them rules of engagement. When we are angry, these are the do's and these are the don'ts. We don't do these things. And that's important because all of us, no matter how much in love we are, we're going to fall out. We're going to have problems.
Elder Sherry, hand is up, Dr. Richards.
Yeah, we'll have difference of opinion. Elder Sherry.
Dr. Richards, I just want to say, with all we are saying here as believers, we really have to be mindful of what we do. and how we do. And just about a little over a week ago, my husband had kind of sent me off Maracas, and it was bad enough that I lost myself. I said something. So I mean, within reason, not using any profanity or anything like that. But it troubled my spirit. It troubled my spirit. So the night I'm sitting there watching him sleep, and I can't sleep because it's still bothering me, And at one point in time, I thought about waking him up to say I'm sorry. And then I said, let him sleep. But the first thing I did, when I saw him the morning, I said, I'm really sorry for exploding. And I said, I mean, you woke my nerve there, but I'm really sorry for exploding. And he looked at me, he said, but you don't want to go on so, and it kind of made me feel a little worse, even when he said it like that, but I'm saying really and truly as believers, because I mean, we didn't follow that, we didn't talk for the rest of the evening. We did speak, but I knew that I went too far, and I had to correct that. Because at the end of the day, I try as far as possible to make sure that when they see me, they see God, they see Christ in me, so it troubled me. And if we as believers are not troubled when we do things out of God's will and out of the word of God, contrary to the word of God, then something is wrong. We are supposed, that word is what we use to measure ourselves, our walk with Christ. And so we have to be careful as believers.
Well, thank you, Sherry, because this is where I was going, and I'm glad you said it, because it's important with all the things we're talking about. We had to remember that we are believers. We had to remember that we are, remember the saying, be careful of the life you lead. You might be only Bible some people read. And some people are not just people outside there, people in your own home. And if you really want to know the character of a person, ask the person who's closest to them, the spouse, the children. How are they at home? How am I? How is that person? How do they believe? How do they handle adverse situations, things like that? Ask your co-workers what happens at work when things go wrong. So we have to remember as well that we have to be examples at all times. And that's why the first thing we said, know your triggers, know what will trip you off. When you know that you can avoid it. If you feel yourself getting angry, walk away. Get out of the situation. If you know your palms start to sweat and your heart start to race because this person doing something that getting you back, you have to know to stop it before it gets to that place where you are not just angry, but you're in a rage. You have to control yourself. And if you know it's a problem, then you have to go to God. You have to say, you have to give it over to God. God, I know I get angry. This person trips me all the time. I get angry because of so and so. Lord, help me. And I promise you, even if it means that you have to get professional help, because some of us need professional help. Some of us is not just, because we all get vexed. We talked about that last night. You all talked about the things that get you vexed. So we all get vexed. We all get angry. But if you are constantly angry, and if you are in a situation where that thing that gets you angry is there all the time, maybe in a workplace, maybe somebody keeps doing something over and over, what do you do? And you have to know how to deal with it, how to handle it. Because it's a trigger the enemy will use. He'll put it in your face all the time. Because he wants to control you. He wants to destroy you. He wants to destroy your testimony. And when you keep getting angry, what is happening is that your testimony is being diminished. So you have to be careful what you do. So you've got to know, and you've got to remember who you are always. You're a child of God. It doesn't mean that you're not human. Yes, you are human. That's why you're getting angry. But you have to remember that you are a child of God. And if your anger is getting in the way of your testimony, then you got to do something about it. Here's one that I find interesting, the last one. They say put a rubber band on your wrist. And if you feel yourself getting angry, pull the rubber band. And let it sting you. And that stinging you is going to trigger. It will tell you, listen, you're getting angry. Pull away. Do what you need to do. What do you all think of that? Do you think something like that can work? Talk to me, somebody. Talk to me. Put
Yes,
a
Dr.
rubber
Richards,
band on
something
your.
like that. Yes, I chuckled when I heard that. I think that's a good idea. I think, I hope it says though you have to get, you have to make sure you have rubber bands in your bag, or, as the person who
And a
said that they
strong
would
one
not
too.
charge. I like the idea. It's funny, but it could work.
But it can work. You see, the same way you have triggers that trigger you off, then there are triggers or diffusers, things that you can do to tell yourself, hey, you're going too far. Something is happening. So if you put a rubber band on your wrist and you feel yourself you're getting angry, but sometimes some people might be so angry they ignore the rubber band. But you can start there. Start it. Put a rubber band on your wrist and see if that can work. I tell you, you never know. You never know. So these are some of the things that can assist you to deal with your anger. Question is though, and let's see how much, we don't have much more time, just a few more minutes. But I'm going to ask the question anyway. So we talked about how to deal with anger, how to deal with when we are angry. Question is now, how do you deal with other people's anger? What do you do when somebody else gets angry, very angry? What do you do? I'll tell you some of the things that I have, but let me hear from you. Let me hear from you. What do you do when somebody gets angry? You're dealing with somebody. So either they're angry at you or they're angry about something else. What do you do? Talk to me.
Dr. Richards, someone says, Dr. Richards, I am saying that if I know that somebody's angry, I would be quiet. Now, sir, if you see me getting quiet, I do the opposite. I back down. Then we have a comment in the chat. I go into quiet mode. Someone else say I stay quiet. Then we have one of the elders says, I will get out of their way. Ask them why your face swells so. Another, I
Really?
walked away. Yeah. And I guess maybe, Doc, in a case like that, it depends on who you get angry with, yes, because if you get angry with it, if a child is angry and maybe tempted to say something, I don't think we may remain quiet. I don't know. I guess it depends on who you're angry with. One
Yeah,
person
because you
says,
could imagine something, no, just before you continue, you could imagine somebody's vexed. Maybe they vex with you or whatever they vex about, and you ask them how your face swells. So do you think that is going to make it better? Really?
someone says that, say I'm sorry if I annoyed you. Right? I walk away but eat up myself. I walk away but eat up myself. Another one says I will ask what's the matter. Another said I just shut down. I have nothing to say. And someone else says I listen. Another, I stay quiet.
Okay. So these are some of the things that we would do if somebody else gets angry with us. That's what we're saying, right? So we walk away, we say nothing, we say we tell them how they face what up so and this kind of thing. Now it's important to know how to deal with people when they are angry. Why? Because Jesus himself says conflict will arise. Will. You must have conflict. It doesn't matter how good you are. You're going to rub somebody the wrong way. And in this life, even if you don't rub somebody the wrong way, you will be there to witness somebody being rubbed the wrong way. You will see somebody angry. All of us have experienced being angry, but we have also experienced seeing somebody angry. And thirdly, we have all experienced somebody being angry at us, angry with us for something we did or didn't do. And it's important for us to know as believers how to deal with other people's anger. It's important, first of all, to know how to deal with our own anger, how we treat with it. But because of the fact that in any given day, You're going to meet angry people, whether it's in your home, your workplace, you go to, do something, you go in a store, you go into a government office, you go somewhere. You must find, in fact, this world is filled with angry people, and you have to know how to deal with them. So we're going to have to stop here tonight. Tomorrow night, God's willing, we're going to continue and we're going to look at how do you deal with angry people, other people who are angry, not you yourself. We're going to work on ourselves. We're going to work on ourselves. And I want to advise some of us tonight as we leave to tomorrow, get a rubber band, please, and put it on your wrist. Get a rubber band. All right. But tomorrow night, God's willing, we're going to be talking about how do we deal when other people get angry with us. What do we do? How do we diffuse anger? What are some of the things that we do, and what are some of the things that we do not do? Because some of the things that we may do may just escalate it. It's like throwing fuel, in a fire. And we might think, well, it's a liquid, it's supposed to out the fire. And all it does is cause the fire to blaze up even more. So we're going to look at what do we do when somebody else gets angry. Thank you so much for tonight, for coming, for being a part of our ministry this evening. God bless all of you. I'm going to hand you back over to First Lady. But before, as I do, I'm going to remind you, 3 days, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of December. That's when we are having our 3 days of fasting. Only water, normal plain water and coconut water. Only water, 3 days of fasting. We are preparing ourselves for that. And of course, on the 16th of December is when we have our get together. One of these nights, we're going to have Sister Noel come on and talk about it and give you all the information. When they're ready,